Hello, if you are new to the channel, my name is Lizo and I hope you enjoy this channel and the content on it. So do subscribe, leave a comment down below if you enjoy the video, and don't forget to like and tell your friends about this channel. Okay, so let's get right into the topic today. So I decided to discuss attachment styles with you guys. The reason for this is because, attachment plays a very big role in our lives, whether we want to, acknowledge it or not. And I've also noticed that a lot of people are not even aware of how the attachment they form as a child affects them in adulthood, and not just in romantic relationships, but in platonic relationships as well, with your friends and just with people in general. That is exactly why I decided to share this with you guys. If you do like this topic and would like me to, touch a little bit more in depth regarding each specific attachment style, please do let me know and I will gladly do that for you. But today I will be, just touching a little bit on the 4 attachment styles that we have. Before we get into it, I just want to explain what attachment is, how it came about, and who you can go do research on in order to get to understand attachment a little bit better. Cool. So the attachment theory, right, was developed by some guy called John Bowlby and a lady called Mary Ainsworth. Yeah, a lot of people overlook Mary. I don't know why, but she was like a core figure when it comes to the attachment theory, just as much as John Bowlby was. So yeah, they decided, John was more like theory part of it. He was like a theorist, whereas Mary was more like an experimentalist. Yeah. So they're like the founders of the attachment theory. So what attachment is basically, oh yeah, you can like do some research on those people and it's amazing. Their work is amazing. This is a very amazing topic to look into. Obviously we don't have all day, so I will just touch on bits and pieces. So what is attachment? Attachment is an emotional bond that we form with our caregivers as kids. So the years between 1 and 3 are very, very crucial. These are the years where we can't really communicate vocally, our anxieties, our stresses, and all of that, our triggers. So we form a bond with this caregiver because we see them as like our safe space. That is what creates attachment. We attach ourselves to the person that we feel the safest around. So now that we know what attachment is, let's move on to the 4 attachment styles that I want to talk about today. So the 4 attachment styles I will be talking about today are secure attachment, dismissive avoidant, preoccupied anxious, which is also known as ambivalent in children, as well as fearful avoidant, also known as disorganized. So a secure attachment is the healthiest form of attachment that you can find. It's probably the best attachment style one can have. Children usually develop a secure attachment to their caregiver when they have securely attached parents themselves. So the parents will respond, in a very healthy manner to the child's needs and wants, and the child usually, forms a good, trusting relationship with their caregiver. The parenting style will usually be authoritative, so the parents will set boundaries and limitations and rules for the child, but they'll also allow the child to, explore the world, be free, and just be themselves. So they allow the child to be a child. In a securely attached adult, you'll see that it's very easy for an individual to form relationships with other people, trusting relationships. They're able to, seek social support from others. They're able to work independently in relationships, but also they're able to depend on the other person, to be there for them because they're able to be there for other people as well. They tend to, know how to respond to people's needs and wants as well. A securely attached person usually has like a good self-esteem. They're secure in themselves. They're not doubtful. They're just a well-rounded individual. So, this is the kind of attachment style that we all should strive for. Unfortunately, not everyone will be able to reach or have experienced this kind of attachment styles, but there are definitely ways in which we can change from an anxious attachment style to a secure attachment style. And I'll actually make a video on that, on how we can do that, but that's not what we're talking about at this one. So so that is a securely attached individual. So yeah, let's all work towards trying to, have a securely attached, be securely attached individuals. Secondly, what is the other one? Dismissive avoidant. So, dismissive avoidant kids usually have parents that don't respond to their needs and wants. The parents will usually, dismiss the child when they want something. They usually won't respond to their cries. Just parents that are not present usually produce dismissive avoidant kids, because then the child learns just to, one, not be seen, two, to just avoid situations they don't want to be in. So in adulthood, you will see, this kind of individual try to avoid intimacy or anything that includes emotions with other people, not just in relationships, not just in romantic relationships, but in friendships as well. They'll be there, but they'll try to be, very distant. People in their lives will describe them as a very cold and distant person. So those are usually individuals who are dismissive avoidant. It's not that they don't seek comfort and care and love from other people. It's just that they don't want to put themselves in that kind of situation, because when they were younger, their need for love and care was not catered to. So that's just how they learn to be. Also, dismissive avoidant adults will usually have a lot of either one night stands or like short relationships. They tend to avoid long term relationships because commitment tends to scare them a little bit. They don't like commitment, so they'll do a lot to avoid commitment. So a dismissive avoidant individual, would not work well with, for example, an anxious individual. It would just be a mess. So a dismissive avoidant individual would then have to maybe, find a securely attached person who understands how this kind of person works, and together they can just find a way to ease the dismissive avoidant individual into a healthy place. So yeah, that's a dismissive avoidant individual. Thirdly, I'd like to discuss an anxious preoccupied attachment style. In children, we call this ambivalent attachment style. So kids who are anxious tend to, they want their caregiver there, but they don't really respond when the caregiver comes back. So they'll cry when they leave, but when they come back, it's chilled because of the pattern the caregiver has given the child. So I'll explain that. So kids who are anxious usually have parents who 1 minute are loving and caring and they cater to their needs. The next they're cold and dismissive, and it's like, okay, now I'm confused. What am I supposed to do? So a child like that usually ends up yearning and craving, that closeness with a caregiver, that bond with a caregiver. So in adulthood, you'll find them wanting relationships a lot. They want the closeness and the bond more than they want the relationship. So an individual who's like this will usually have low self-esteem. Obviously not all of them, this is just a blanket generalizing. They'll usually have low self-esteem. They'll usually be quite jealous of their partner with other people. They will usually commit too quicker than their partner sometimes. You'll see like someone saying they think they're in love within 2 weeks or something. That's more anxious. But in the same breath, as much as they like commitment and being close, they're very scared that they'll never receive whatever they give out. So whatever love and affection and all of that they give out, they're very scared that they're not going to get it back. They're very scared of abandonment from their partner, and they're scared of being rejected because that's the pattern that they experienced in childhood. So an individual like this tends to just rush into relationships, hop from relationship to the next, and not give themselves time to really, heal and explore, themselves as an individual. And usually when relationships end, they are distraught. It's like, they thrive on connection with other people. And most times, the connection that they're looking for is very, very hard to find because people are not on the same wavelength as them because they do things in such extremes. So yeah, an individual who's anxious, would have to maybe find a securely attached partner who will ease their anxiety, who will understand why this person is this way, and also cater to their needs. So it's an anxious person with a secure person's relationship would maybe go like reassurance. So reassurance is a big part when it comes to someone who's anxious. So reassuring an anxious individual, they need constant reassurance, knowing that knowing their place in your life. They like certainty. They want to be certain of where they stand with you. So a securely attached person will make sure that they don't leave room for doubt in this person's mind, and also this will just help them move towards a healthier attachment style. Anyone can literally move from any of the insecure attachment styles to a secure attachment style, and that is what we all should be working towards. That is why I'm making this video. That is what I want for all of us. And then lastly, I will talk about the fearful avoidant. So this is a disorganized attachment style. So a disorganized attachment style is basically a mix of the avoidant attachment style and the anxious attachment style. So these ones, in childhood, their parents were usually just not there. Either kids who were abandoned or kids whose parents maybe passed on at an early stage and they didn't have a stable caregiver, or kids who had parents who maybe were alcoholics, who were abusive. Those kind of relationships at a young age usually create a disorganized attachment style because you don't have security. So an individual will, for example, an individual will say they want, okay, so a disorganized individual will go from feeling like their partner is not giving them attention, or whoever is not giving them attention, to being freaked out because someone bought them flowers and they feel like this is too much too soon. A disorganized individual will go and date an emotionally unavailable individual, yet have feelings for, the good person who clearly really likes you and you like them, but you just want to go for the bad person. So that's how a disorganized individual usually is. They tend to want a bit of both. They're scared of opening up to people. They're scared of emotions. They want to, though. They want to be in a relationship. They want to form healthy bonds with people, but they're scared that people are going to hurt them. So they're very confused. These are very confused individuals. They put people at like arm's length. Like, yes, you can get to me, but this is where you end. You can't come like past this point. And it's not a really healthy attachment style to have, because it makes maneuvering life very, very difficult. So a disorganized person, a person with a disorganized attachment style can maybe, try and find different coping mechanisms to their daily interactions with humans, and try and understand that not everyone is going to hurt you and not everyone is going to leave you, and it's okay to let people in, and also just learn how to form boundaries. So yeah, I think, these are the 4 attachment styles I wanted to touch on. I will be making individual videos on these 4 attachment styles, explaining them, in detail and a little bit further, just so that everyone is able to fully understand their attachment style, and how they can move from one of the 3 anxious attachment styles to the more secure attachment style. And I'm not saying you have to completely change and have a secure attachment style, but there are things that you can do, methods that you can take, that can help you respond to people in a very healthy manner. And that is exactly what this channel is here for, to make you a better you, so that we can all live holistically. I truly hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do like and leave a comment what you'd like to see